Hi, Leah.
Hi, Kamna.
So, how was your week?
It was great. We're coming off of our Sip, Soothe, and Shop event.
Yes,
What
that
did
was
you did?
so much fun.
It was so nice to see people in person and hug them and
Yes,
just kind of mingle, you know?
yes, it was really nice. I'm so
And
glad
that's
we
like
did it.
me too. And that's exactly where we got this week's topic from.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yes.
which is,
Holiday stress.
yeah. Yesterday somebody told me you're coming back on Saturday and then you're hosting an event on Sunday. Is that going to be okay? And I was like, what do you mean? That's like a week away. She said, no, no, it's like this week. So,
Wait, you're going to visit your son
yeah.
and you're coming back on Saturday and you're having an event at your home on Sunday?
So then I came home and I switched my ticket because I didn't realize it's
Oh,
crept up on me. And I didn't, like, I know the dates, but I didn't process it. You know what I
I know.
mean? And then I was all freaked out.
So did you switch the date to come home Friday?
Yes.
I hear you. My son's birthday party is Sunday, and I can't even believe it. I can't wrap my head around it.
It's all these like,
Yeah.
it's the time of year where the stress is just like whoosh,
Hmm.
sky high.
And time creeps up on you. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I have plenty of time. No, I don't have plenty of time.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, just kicked my computer. Sorry about that. All right. So, how was your call to action?
Um, I'm gonna be really vulnerable, so I hope it's okay.
What was your call to action?
So my call to action was a two-parter. I'm going to continue to work on my protein and my
Oh,
carbs,
yeah,
the
yeah.
ratio. And I think in one of our call to action groups, we figured out you should have the ratio wise in general, and it could be different for people. 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. And of
Hmm.
course, everybody's is going to be specific to their own
But
body
that was like
needs.
a general average.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm working on that actively and I'm doing pretty good.
Oh,
I need
good.
to find ways to boost it, but I'll tell you why
Yeah.
it didn't work for me this week. The second piece of it was supposed to do 5-minute exercises where I could, and
Hmm.
that also went okay. I did get one day I had a face mask on, so I'm like, let me do some sit-ups. So I just was doing sit-ups
Look
with the
at you.
mask on.
Yeah.
The other day, I was doing something and I'm like, oh, I need to do some arms. So I was like a 5-minute just on my own. Cause by this point, you know what to do.
And you can put them in anywhere in your day.
Yeah. So I'm working on that. But
I
here's
feel like there's a
where,
but. Yeah. Okay, go
yeah.
on.
So this week I was not in a good headspace and I did not have motivation to do a lot of things. And I don't not looking for sympathy or for advice. It's just what it was. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like life sometimes throws a bag of tomatoes at you and you have to like clean up the mess.
Yeah.
So I was not in a good headspace and I think I was not functioning well and doing the things I was supposed to do. And at a certain point during the week, I was just I to quote one of your phrases from our old episode, I lost my care. I
Mm.
just really lost my care. And then when I was thinking about it this morning in preparation for talking about my call to action, I was thinking maybe my body was telling me that I needed to rest and I needed to chill out. And all the pressure I'm putting on myself, it was like overwhelming me. So I really listened because my water had fallen off, my vegetables had fallen off, my sleep had fallen off, my exercise had fallen off. All the things that I do for my mental health had gone away. And I wasn't motivated to do any of it. So
You think your body
I,
was trying to tell you you need to not care right now?
yeah, yes.
Interesting.
What
But
I see thoughts.
yeah, the only thing I can see where you're going with that, but my fear would be, but what if what if this feeling lasts too long?
Right.
So
I think
where's
that
that? Yeah, where's that fine line of you're right. I do need my body does need to just stop caring right now. But how long do you let that go?
I think the human spirit is very resilient. I think we always strive for happiness. And the problem is when something puts a hiccup in that, then you feel like I had a moment and I was deflated. I think I'm, I took a walk out in the sun. I was like, I did some things to re-energize me. I know
Mhm.
walking helps me, it lifts my spirits. Just, I worked out this morning. So some of these things I'm trying to put back, maybe by
Oh,
force.
so you slowly are putting one thing at a time.
Yeah, like I don't want to do it, but I have to do it.
I
But
love that you're
but
sharing that.
the expectation is not that I'm going to do an hour. It's that maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 20 minutes. It's just enough to where I can get my engine going again.
So instead of doing all of the things, you're going, all right, you got to do at least one of them.
Yes.
And then maybe your care will slowly build again.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you
I don't
feel
want,
like it's building?
yes. And I
Okay.
don't want anybody to worry about me. I'm perfectly fine. It's just life,
Yeah.
life happens.
Everybody goes through those moments
Yeah.
when you just feel like you got hit and hit and hit and hit.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But you're
So
picking it back up.
that was my week.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, but first, before I share, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. Because I
Yeah,
just think everybody sometimes thinks that there are people in this world that never have those moments. And it's just like everybody does. They just don't
yeah.
share them, you know?
Well, I realized when I was crying at the hairdressers and when I was crying in the doctor's office, something was not quite right. So
Yeah.
I think it helps to talk about it. It helps to feel lighter to say it out
Hmm.
loud, you know. So I'm okay sharing it. I just don't want anybody to worry. I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for calming us down with that.
Thank you.
So, not to change the subject
Of
100%, but I
course.
will. So my call to action was to pay attention to moments when I
Mhm.
knew I was going to be heightened, like heightened emotionally, very nervous about something, whatever, and pay attention to the boomerang after. Okay. It's amazing. It's amazing how much I am now seeing it's predictable. So I'll
Oh.
give you the two examples. One was my daughter had an event and we had to go to this award ceremony. We had no idea what was going to happen, what her award would be, or any of that. And I knew it going in. I'm like, this is gonna be so stressful, so stressful. I don't know what whatever. Knew it. Ended up being great, wonderful. I came home and I binge ate peanut
Really?
M&Ms. I mean, and I didn't know it in the moment, by the way. Like I
Oh.
just came home. We came home, it was later than my bedtime. And we were all running around trying to get ready for bed and all of that stuff. And I mean, I was binge eating, very embarrassing. I didn't even brush my teeth. I just ate them and went to bed. Like I had already done all my bed stuff and just ate these M&Ms. And then the next day I was like, okay, that was my boomerang.
Oh.
That was my boomerang. Like that's what
Wow.
I do. When I have intense, stressful things, I come home and I binge eat something.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay, so then now I knew this, right? I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, by the way, I brain dumped it. The next morning, I brain dumped it all and I was working it all out in the morning. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to have another one on Friday. So Friday we had our sip, soothe, and shop event. And while I'm not stressed to talk to anybody, it's still a lot of stress going
Right.
in and it's going to be past my bedtime, which automatically causes me more anxiety. And like the
Right.
whole thing, like, did I forget something? Did I have time to shower? Like the whole thing is a little bit heightened, right? So I knew it. So what I did instead on the way there, driving there, I went, okay, when I'm done and I come home, I am having my husband picked up pizza for them. I'm eating 2 pieces of pizza when I get home. Like I
Wow.
planned for it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Instead of coming home and seeing the pizza box there and eating 7 pieces, I went, nope, the minute you get home, you're having the 2 pieces of pizza.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
How did you feel on the second night?
So the next morning when I woke up, I was like, I did what I was planning on doing.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So I
get it.
planned a binge. And I
But
wouldn't even
you,
call 2 pieces of pizza a binge, by the
no,
way.
No. But I think the bigger takeaway from this, because people might say, what's the big deal?
Right.
It's that you got a handle on behavior that might have been like mindless and out of control. And you said,
Right.
okay, I know this situation is going to be there. What can I do?
Mm-hmm.
And you followed through with your plan, which gives you like you feel empowered. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I did what I said I was going to do,
Mm-hmm. I
which is
just think
encouraging.
the power comes from knowing it's gonna, like, I know after certain, now that I'm doing this, there was another example too, but like, I think that now that you know that you're going to have these heightened emotions and feelings and anxiety, and then it's going to come crashing down, that's where you know you need to do the work
Yeah.
or be
I think
prepared.
when our CTA member announced this, I think that's why we both jumped on it because we probably realized it has happened to us and it probably happens to many more people where you, like you said, you have the event and then you have a
Mm-hmm.
reaction to the emotions
Mm-hmm.
and then you do a behavior and sometimes it's completely mindless.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it would have been mindless. I
Mhm.
would have came home, mindlessly ate whatever I saw. But this time I was like intentional about it.
Wow.
So I'm love it. And I'm gonna keep paying attention to it.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep paying attention. So I'll keep you posted.
Definitely do. I think before we get into our topic, we have an announcement, right?
Oh yeah. I'm so excited about it too, and I completely forgot about it. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, so when I got this idea, um, I was so excited. I texted you right away. I'm like, we have to talk. I'm so excited.
And I don't know if anybody knows, you and I very rarely talk on the phone.
No, we don't. No, we just text.
Hard, like we text and we Zoom, but we never like pick up the phone and talk to each other. So when you said that, I was like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah. And so what this is um a weigh-in group we are starting. It's separate from our CTAs, and you put a little cute spin on it. You called it
I call it a wig, a
a wig.
weigh-in group. It's
Yeah.
our wig.
So if you need accountability just for your weight loss and you don't want to spend a lot of time hashing out your feelings, you just want to be to the numbers and you need someone to pay attention to it, that's what this group is going to do.
Yep. And with some little extra bonuses. For one, we will
Mhm.
text you halfway through the week and say, hey, don't forget you're going to be weighing in with us on Wednesday.
Mhm.
Or is that the day we're deciding?
Yes. Wednesday, right? That was from
Yes.
our one of our episodes.
Yes. So Wednesday, if you when you join our wig group, you would send us a text of your weight
Mhm.
and
And midway through the week, we'll text you to just check on if you're doing on track, if you're in, the right momentum, you're not
yeah.
sabotaging. And um, we have a little bonus at the end of reaching our goal, right?
Wait, before you go any further, we do have a bonus, which I'm so excited about, which is going to make me really want to do it. We will take your first name
Yes.
and put it on a spreadsheet. We will never ever say the number you actually weigh, but we will
Yes.
show your loss or your gain for that extra piece of accountability.
Yes. And that will be in our Wait What Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. And Kamna and I are participating as well.
Yes,
So you
absolutely.
can see our weight gain or loss every week as well.
Yes.
And then
Yes. Yes.
and then what's the bonus?
Well, before we get to the bonus, so once
Okay.
a month we're going to do a Zoom call, a
Oh
Zoom
yeah.
check-in, and if any questions or any frustrations or celebrations, that will be the place. We're not going
Mm-hmm.
to really do a deep dive on anything, but if you, for example, need protein ideas or you need quick workouts or app questions, that is where we will talk about all those
Mm-hmm.
things.
This is like nuts and bolts. I just want to have somebody be
Mhm.
accountable to my weight and move on.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And our CTA groups are different. They're more in-depth group coaching where we really dive in deeper and you get to know the people in your group.
Yeah, the CTA, we're sort of building a community of people who are on the same journey. Maybe for the accountability, you just want to report it to somebody
Mm-hmm.
and for someone to look at it and say, oh, you're moving closer to your goal, or oh, what happened? So
Mm-hmm.
no judgment, just to like, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
So our little bonus, which I'm so
Mm-hmm.
excited about, is when you reach your goal, however long it takes, and you set your goal, we're going to give you a
And it
t-shirt.
doesn't have to
Oh,
be your end goal,
oh
just your
yeah,
first goal. Okay, go
sure.
on.
We're going to give you a t-shirt that
Yeah.
is from us, and a certificate of completion. And it doesn't mean you stop. It's just a marker to acknowledge all of your hard work.
Mm-hmm. I can't
So
wait.
me too.
I want the dang t-shirt.
Oh, by the way, we are starting this group December 1st.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Real quick.
Yeah, real quick. So if you need accountability throughout the holidays, so you
Perfect
don't
time.
don't eat like 5 dozen cookies or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
this is a good way for you to be accountable, to stay on track,
Mm-hmm.
just have someone to answer to
I
or
can't wait.
show your weight. Yeah.
So you'll text me your weight and I'll text you my weight,
Oh, yes.
right? So you and I will do
Yeah.
it. Okay. All right.
Okay. I'm not
We'll do
excited
it.
about that.
You'll be great at it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, if you are interested, please email us. Let us know on our Wait What page. We can send you more information and we are very
Yes.
excited for it.
Very. So excited.
All right.
So
So where are we starting this week?
we were talking about holiday stress at our event on Friday, our yoga event. And we decided we needed to do a little deeper of a dive on it. And
Mm-hmm.
we got a lot of good ideas in our conversation on Friday for sure. But I think there's more to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you?
Yeah, and I actually want to start because the one somebody there said time. There's not enough time.
Yeah.
And then somebody else said it very similar, like, yeah, I need to bake the cookies and make the Christmas cards and do the shopping and do the wrapping. And that again, time. Like not
Mhm.
enough time kept coming up, not in the exact same way, but very similar. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So I actually did that. I took that one first and I Googled, I don't have enough time to get all my stuff done. That was
Oh, okay.
exactly what I Googled. And that came up time anxiety. That's a real term.
Oh,
It's a real term. And the definition is when you feel like you never have enough time to meet your goals.
yeah.
So that's a real term. It's a real thing. But here's what I wanted to talk about really quick before we get into ideas and hacks to beat that is um it actually makes you procrastinate on important tasks more.
Oh,
The time anxiety actually makes you procrastinate more because you're anxious about that task. So that's all you can think about is I can't get this task done.
isn't that sort of ironic? Is
Mm-hmm.
you're worried about not getting it done, and that worry
Mm-hmm.
makes you not get it done.
Right. It's crazy, right? Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
wait,
wow.
this is where I think you're gonna find this interesting. Do you know how we've been told since we were little, the clean plate club, you have to finish your
Yes.
plate.
Okay. I
You know
like where
how we've
this is
been
going
told you
already.
can't waste food, whatever. This is not across the board, but most people with time anxiety have been told since they were little to stop wasting time.
Oh,
Many times we were told when we were a young child, a student, a college student, a young adult, stop wasting time. And it has stuck with us. So now
wow.
as an adult, we're going, I just, I have all this stuff to do and I don't know what to do. And I'm wasting all this time doing this when I should be doing this. It's one of those patterns. It's one of those things in the back of your head that is there and you feel like you're wasting time. It's just that same thing about cleaning your plate or doing those other things. It's something that, does it make sense?
Totally. I'm actually like my mind is blown because I'm sure I was a dawdler when I was little. I have time anxiety. When you're talking about this, I was like, that's me, that's me, that's me. But I think probably like, hurry up. Why are you wasting time? Why are you going so slow? Any form of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, well, I guess I should be faster. I guess I should be more efficient. I should be doing 5 things at the same time. And
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have time anxiety. On the way home today, I was supposed to be recording with you, and I'm like, I can't go to the library to return my book. And my husband's like, well, maybe we can get some food. I said, I don't have time. I have to go home. Let's go home right
Mm-hmm.
now. It,
Because,
it was
and I will say one other thing. It really, there was this whole part of this article I was reading that was like, and a lot of it was like around college or when you're a young adult. And it was like,
Mhm.
why are you taking those classes? That's a waste. Why are you doing this?
Oh,
That's a waste. Are you ever really going to use that degree? Are you ever going to do this? Was that a big waste of time that you did? Like, and a lot of it happened in a lot late teens, early 20s, where we were like, I'm doing this job, but it was a waste of time because that's not what I really wanted to do. And it started it started a lot younger, but it festered around that age.
so okay. I'm making some connections here. So
Okay.
if you're saying that people who suffer from time anxiety aren't able to get a lot of things done because they have time anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking about that in the context of holidays, the list is so long. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's fun stuff. Maybe it's, like you're
Right.
buying presents, or it's like you're going to parties, but the list is still long, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
the list is. And so looking at that list gives you anxiety. So you become
Mm-hmm.
a little paralyzed, but then you're like, I have so much to do. So you
Mm-hmm.
get stuck in this loop, which causes even more stress.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes. And actually, that's the first thing they suggest is a week at a time, you create a list.
Oh,
One
I'm
week at a
smarter than
time.
I know.
Yeah, you nailed it. So you sit down and you go, okay, what do I need to do for your event on Sunday? Make the list of everything. And then from there, you create that schedule.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. And I would even go so far as to say people who have time anxiety and who have been told to hurry up and get on with it should
Mm-hmm.
schedule time to take it
Do
easy.
nothing.
Yeah, I think that's really critical
Right.
because if you schedule it, you're like, I'm not wasting time because it's on my schedule.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Like,
Yeah,
that's not a waste of time. I scheduled that in. I scheduled the time to play my game on my phone. So there you go.
yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think creating a list, but one week at a time is important for this time of the year because I think we have all of this rolling around and we're like,
yeah,
I got to decorate cookies and then I got to wrap the presents, but you might not need to wrap the presents for 3 more weeks. Why are
right,
you worrying about that right now? Just focus on what
right,
has to be done this week. And
right.
if it's the cookies, then it's the cookies,
Hmm.
right?
The
So,
the
anyway,
other thing that I took away from Friday's discussion is we think we're sort of on an island with our stress, and we have so much to do and nobody understands and we are overloaded. But in having that discussion, I was like, there's a lot of tricks and hacks that people were giving us
I
that
know.
I was like, this is great. Homemade
Yes.
homemade personalized gifts, or a muffin tin full of leftovers to take, or like the hacks that people were coming up with. Genius.
I know. It was
So
so wonderful.
talking about it actually helps because you might get an idea of how
Mhm.
to get rid of some of that stress.
Such a good point. It actually did feel less stressful when everybody was telling their ideas.
Well, because I was sort of rattling on about my stress, and then someone gave an idea. Mine was about a crazy family member. And someone gave an idea of like you should take a picture every time they're talking to somebody.
Oh yes, I forgot
And
about that.
I thought, well, what an interesting spin on it, because instead of getting anxious about the conversation, you're like, oh wait, this is going to be fun. It's not like a drinking game, but kind of.
Yeah, different
So,
spin on it. That's exactly what we need to do is look at it differently,
mhm.
looking some of this holiday stress differently, and a group of people really helps you do that.
So much so.
So, did you have anything else with time anxiety?
Um, no, not with time. I
Okay.
went a I
Wh-
went a different direction.
Okay,
So,
so what did you come up with? Or
well, did
what
you have anything
direction?
else? I don't want to shift the.
I went into the money thing a little bit.
Okay.
because that's a stressor.
Mhm.
And I did come up with two parts to that I thought were important. I mean, there's 100 things, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything I read was, I was like, this is stupid. I'm not doing this.
Okay.
Like, don't buy a gift for this person. Like, I'm not doing that. That's just not
Right.
who I am. I'm not gonna do that. Or tell them you're on a budget this year and you're not like, I'm not doing any of those
Right.
things. I'm just not. Sorry. But the one thing that I really read and it resonated me was overcome guilt, which
Oh.
it said you did nothing wrong.
Mhm.
And it can feel very demoralizing at this time of the year that you can't afford some things, but it is not a reflection on you. Life is hard. And I
Yes.
just kind of read that and I was like, it's okay that I feel like that. Like, it's okay that I feel tight with money right now, or I feel like I can't afford certain things. I didn't do anything wrong. It's not my fault.
Yes.
It's not my fault that I needed to spend more money in my gas tank this month and I didn't have it. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that that was important to read, that it's not my fault.
It's
It's
not,
just
and
part of my life right now.
you have teenage kids who need things and need
Yeah.
go places, and
Right.
it's
And instead I'm
like,
feeling guilty about it. And it's like, it's not my fault that I sent my daughter to Washington and she enjoyed her trip. And that's where extra money went this
and she
year. Like,
should,
and
yes.
she should. And instead I'm looking at it as like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I have all this money right now? Do you know what I'm saying? And I think it was important to look at it and say, I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, that absolutely is true. And for me personally, and I know people might not agree, but I find the homemade, the hand touches more important and more special in a gift.
Mm-hmm.
For example, for our celebration of our 1 year anniversary for the podcast, you gave me a book with all kind of messages in them. I
Mm-hmm.
still look at it. I still read it. It's so special to me. I like, it's more worth more than any amount of money to me. And I have received many gifts like that where it's so special
Yeah.
that I don't care about someone spending a lot of money on me. I just want
Mm-hmm.
them to think about me, if
Mm-hmm.
they're getting me a gift.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
So I think that's kind of important to remember, because part of the stress of the holidays is how commercial it's become. And, you have
Mm-hmm.
to spend so much money on a gift. And we have, in our immediate family, I mean, there's 5 of us. 1 year we did everybody buy a gift for everybody else. And then you're spending a lot of money and they may not like the gift. And then they have to return the gift and
Mm-hmm.
they can't say they don't like the gift. So I think last year we did everybody pick somebody. And then in that, my daughter found this app. You can do like create a wish list or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it asks you, what do you want to tell your secret Santa what you would like? So I had put 2 books on there and I got one of
Mm-hmm.
them. And I was like, great,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with telling people exactly what you want.
Yeah. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah, like sometimes we beat around the bush and it's like, just say exactly what you want.
Yeah. Yep.
So, the other one more thing I did and I found, and I thought this was interesting, was holiday food, because
Okay.
that's a stress for some
Yeah.
people. Too much, too little, not enough, whatever, all of that. First of all, the first tip I have is to join our WIG, our weigh-in group. That's my first tip for anybody. But this one was interesting. Fact is, this time of the year puts a big stress on our liver and our digestive systems. We eat
Oh,
more food between November and December that is more fatty, more sugary than we normally do all year. And I thought that
right.
that was just a good fact to know. Like, maybe someone heard me say that it's very hard on our liver and our digestive systems this time of the year, and they'll know to take it easy because of that.
Right.
Just a little thing. It may be depressing to hear, but it is what it is. But there was a website called Advanced Wellness and Weight Loss,
Okay.
advancedwellnessandweightloss.com. And there's a 50% rule. Have you ever heard of a 50% rule?
I
And
don't
it can
think
work
so.
with anything.
Okay.
It's this time of the year. Decide you're going to do 50% of what you normally do and be okay with it.
Wait, give me an example because I'm not getting it.
So, first one, if I usually eat 10 Christmas cookies, I'm going to have 5 this year.
Oh, okay.
If I usually get 10,000 steps, I'm going to be okay with getting 5,000 today.
Oh, okay.
If I usually work out for an hour, but I'm already stressed because I don't have time to do anything, I'm going to be okay with walking or going to the gym for 30 minutes. The 50% rule, and flip the switch in December and say, this is the 50% rule. I'm doing 50% of
Oh,
typically what I do. If you normally track 7 days a week, but you're really like, I don't even know how I'm going to do anything, track 3.
right.
So
Right.
you're not saying, I'm not doing this habit. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not drinking my water. I'm just going to do half of what I typically
I like
do.
that a lot. And you could apply that to even partying or
Yes.
alcohol or whatever, you know.
Or I'm going to go to this party and only stay half of the amount of time I would normally do.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I'm going to only do half of the amount of parties I normally go to. Like,
Hmm.
say it's a 50% rule and I'm going to just do 50% of what I normally do.
That's genius. It's so
I liked
simple,
it.
but
It's super simple,
that's the
right?
thing. I think the simple ideas are the most actionable and they're the most logical and the most like
Mm-hmm.
it's just we could do that.
Yeah. I'm going to have half of the amount of alcohol I normally have. I'm going to
Yeah.
have half of the amount of whatever you name it. So
Yeah.
those were my, I guess when I really break it down, time, money, and holiday food are my top stressors this time of
Hmm.
the year. So I dove deeper into those.
So, I just want to share some statistics. I can't say that word that I found, which I think is important to mention. I don't want to bring the mood down, but
Okay.
according to the American Psychological Association, 38% of people surveyed said their stress increased during the holidays,
Mm-hmm.
which can lead to physical illness, depression, anxiety, and substance misuse. And I put sugar under substance misuse.
You do?
I do.
I think you're onto something.
I do because it's addictive. So why not? Also,
Hmm.
64% of individuals living with a mental illness noted that 64% of individuals, oh, I rewrote that. Sorry, I wrote it twice. 64% of individuals living with a mental illness felt their condition worsened around the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be for a number of reasons. And this article gave a list, and I just want to go through them real quick.
Yeah.
You're lacking the holiday spirit. So, in our
So you
words, you
feel
lost your
sad about
care.
it?
No, you lost your care, sort of, in our
Okay.
words, you know,
Okay.
like you're not that joyous, you're not that excited. Number two is you're overwhelmed with grief or loss.
Yeah. It's a hard time of the year for
Mm,
people.
yeah, miss
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, you're feeling pressure to participate and you don't want to.
Yeah.
Why can't you come? What's
Mm-hmm.
wrong? Let's come out for a little bit. You'll have fun. Number four, you're stressed about gift giving, which we talked a little bit about already.
Mm-hmm.
Number five, I thought this was a very important one. There's not much sunlight and it's affecting your mood.
Oh, I think that is huge for some of us,
Mhm.
especially where we live. Like you just
Yes.
gray and gloomy.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then number six is you feel alone or isolated.
So
So
64% of people named these are those things that really attribute to their anxiety and or depression right now.
yeah. Yeah. And I think it's important to know that if you already have, and a lot of us have issues with anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
depression, maybe we're not diagnosed, but we are. And
Mm-hmm.
it's okay that we feel a little bit of extra stress. It's not unusual. You're not a weirdo. Like it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
For any number of reasons, it's very normal. There's nothing wrong with you.
Mm-hmm. I'm learning that actually as I get older.
Really?
I am learning that, and this maybe is just an opinion, I don't know, that there are just people in the holiday spirit and people that aren't.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to, instead of looking at it and being like, how could you not be? Like, just say, like, they're just not.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not morning people. They're just not into the holiday spirit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Nice nod to me. I like it.
No, I really was thinking of somebody that I live with. But anyway, like, I mean, it's okay. And if you're one
It's
of those
okay.
people that don't get into the holiday spirit, don't feel bad about yourself.
Yeah. And this article said something which I think is really important is if you really feel like you're struggling, try to get help. And it's so
Mhm.
easy now to go online, find a therapist who can deal with whatever issues you have, and that's okay too. Maybe the
Right.
holidays are not for you, but you need a little help.
Absolutely. And it's okay. Gosh, I feel like I'm saying that 100 times, but it's okay.
Well, I think the takeaway from this is A, we're not alone. We're not on an island. We can ask for
Mhm.
help. If you are wrapping 50 gifts, some of the people in your house can wrap some of them. You
Mhm.
know, it's
And
okay if
it
they're not
doesn't
perfect.
matter. Thank you. I was just gonna say that.
It doesn't
Like
have
I'm
to be
guilty of that.
perfect.
Like, excuse me. Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
I have a friend, and I don't think I understand this concept very well because I'm a control freak. But she says when people in her house, they just cook whatever and she's okay with it. Like however it is, they cook and the kitchen is the way it is and it doesn't bother her.
Oh,
And I think that's such a good lesson because if you want to enjoy yourself, you can't, as they say, sweat the small stuff. So like if your dishes aren't done to your satisfaction or if the dishwasher isn't loaded to your satisfaction
yep.
or if the cooking didn't happen the way you wanted or it's okay, you know?
It's okay. That's
Yeah.
the best takeaway that you could have, like, it's okay.
Well,
Whatever's going on.
we're allowed to ask for help.
Hmm.
We're allowed.
Hmm.
And people like to help, to be honest.
They do. They feel special. They feel like they're needed. Unless you're a teenager, then you don't want to help at all. You just don't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So
And
I know. I think that for some of us, our holiday stress starts now
yeah.
or already has started. For some of us, our holiday stress is more stressful in November and maybe it gets better in December. And I think that we're you're not immune to it, I guess. Like we all
Yeah.
have some.
We have a holiday this time of year. It's called Diwali, which is a festival of lights. And in this holiday, there's a lot of food and a lot of sweets and a lot of
And
fried
it's
stuff.
many days, right?
It's yes, it's like 4 or 5 days. And there's also gift giving involved, but it's a trickle down gift giving. So the older people give it to the younger people, and the
Oh,
youngest is always like makes out like a bandit, and usually it's money. So
oh,
they're
okay.
like golden. So, but it is stressful because there's so many sweets and there's so much dessert and there's so much food. And if you're not eating, people are like, why are you not eating? You only took so little. And
So do
that
you
create
have a party to go to every night?
I went to one last night. It was very
Okay.
fun, but there was a lot
Okay.
of food, you know, it's a lot of food.
And then will there be more?
I am not going to more, but there are the whole month, week of November, whatever it's a falls on a lunar calendar. So whenever it happens, it's like a week of festivities and it's going on and on.
Oh,
And then that
wow.
that blends into Thanksgiving and that blends into, other holidays. So
Yes, it all rolls into one. I'm very intrigued by it. So you don't have to give a gift to anybody older than you.
no, but I'm the
Oh,
oldest in the family.
oh.
So
So you have to give a gift to everybody else?
if I was seeing them, it would be, yeah, I'd have to make my
Hmm.
envelopes and fill them up and yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do your kids do that for each other?
I don't know. We don't see each other much anymore,
Okay.
so it's different. But if they were together, probably they do more gifts than money.
Okay.
Yeah, they have done that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Hmm.
it's just
Anyway.
it starts so early.
So then the stress begins.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, we all have it.
Yeah,
So, well, and then, by the way, we only touched on half of it,
yeah.
half of holiday stress. Like we didn't get into alcohol
Hmm.
or
I
well, we
actually,
kind of, what
well,
else?
I had a whole list uh from deadlines,
Oh, deadlines.
um packed schedule leading to mental fatigue. Everything must be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The list we had the other day was a very specific list.
Family.
Should I run through that real quick?
Yeah, and we didn't even tackle family
Oh yeah.
today.
I've read one article that said every family has that crazy uncle,
Uh-huh.
so to
And
speak.
if you don't, you're that crazy one. If you don't have it, you are that crazy person. Just saying.
Okay. That made me laugh. Okay. You said people, too much food. We talked about too much alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
presents to buy, expectations,
Mm.
finances, and no. We went through actually this whole list that we had
By the
made.
way, and I want to add expectations too. You see on social media that everybody has this perfect Christmas card, or you get the perfect Christmas card. You have no idea how many it took to get that Christmas card picture. You have
Oh
no
yes.
idea
Oh yes.
how many pictures it took for them to get that one Christmas picture where they're all looking by
We
the
have
tree. Like,
had so
yeah.
many fights during our family photos. If you look at
Mhm.
our picture, you would never know.
Right.
Never.
So when you're looking at somebody's picture, like just smile and go, I wonder how many that took.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Right. I mean, that's an expectation. Like, oh, it's got to be perfect. No,
Yeah.
doesn't.
I agree.
So, all right. So what's your call to action?
Well, it came from one of our call to action members, and she said this a while ago, but I've been percolating on it. She talked about how when her mind is in chaos, she needs to clean up her space.
Mm-hmm.
And I've realized my house is right now, I feel like a disaster. Like
It's not.
every
I was just
closet,
there. It's not.
the kitchen is fine. But
Okay.
like if you open any cabinet, things are gonna fall out on you.
Mm.
It's a mess. And I need to pick this week. I'm not gonna be home, but next week I'm going to start with
Oh, you're going to be specific here. I like it.
yeah, I'm gonna be specific. I'm gonna start with the kitchen.
Okay.
And I'm gonna spend a week organizing and throwing out things and really getting my kitchen in order.
Well,
Especially because
yeah,
that's
that would
gonna
be important because if family's coming in for
Mhm.
December, you're going to feel way
Yeah.
cluttered if your kitchen's
Yes.
not clean while you're trying to cook.
Yeah.
It's a great
And
point.
then after that, I'm gonna start like picking one closet or one part of a closet or something because I need to get my space in order so my mind can be in order.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I need to do that, but I'm waiting till January.
oh, are you?
Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
yeah.
why I'm waiting. I think it's because I'm dreading it and I keep putting it off.
I think actually when my kids come home for Thanksgiving, I might put them on jobs too.
Ooh,
Good idea. So, yeah.
like you have this closet or you have this.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So my call to action is this week and next week are two very stressful in my life. I host Thanksgiving at my home, and
Hmm.
I also have my son's birthday party in the middle of all of this. So I am going to take the time anxiety tip of creating a list with 1 week
Oh,
at a time.
okay.
I'm not going to think about Thanksgiving. If anybody even asks about Thanksgiving, I'm going to say you have to ask me after the party.
Hmm.
Like, don't ask me what you're bringing. Don't ask me any of that. Just let me focus on this 1 week and then I'll move on to the next. And I'm going to create a list and have it. I actually started it. I made both of my kids clean their rooms today and because I knew that it's coming. So like little things I'm starting to do already so that I'm not losing my mind.
I love it.
So yeah, that's it.
I really love your self-awareness. Like you take these call to actions pretty seriously.
Oh, I think we both do. What do you mean then? Maybe I don't.
Like you really apply the theory to your life and you like the whole time management and the making the
Mm.
list. I made it through the whole thing without coughing.
I know you did great. You can mute if you want to. Okay, I'm just muting it. I'll just fill the gaps in with talking. But so I'm going to give you a crazy example of the things I have to do before the party is I have to wash my drapes in this room. And I'm like, when do I want to do it? I know. Um, but we have to move a bird cage and put it in a different room for when people come. Like there's all of these dumb things that
You
most people
wash your
don't have.
drapes?
Yes. Not in
Wow.
every room, just the one room. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever washed drapes.
No, just the one room. There's only one set of drapes anyway, so it's not a big deal. But they get really gross. So I make sure I do that before this month.
Okay. Wow.
I
I'm
know.
so impressed.
Don't be.
Okay.
Once a year. Twice a year, which is why I only have 2 kids. Because I only could throw 2 parties a year.
At least you're throwing a party.
So anyway. All right. Well, I'm excited to talk to you next week then.
Yeah. And if you're interested in our wig, please let us know. We are
Please.
excited to get
And our
going.
call to action for December, both.
Yes.
Yep.
For sure.
All right.
right.
See you next
Bye.
week. Bye.